always know me per se wuna di kind obetin sama hodwa ekoso ewe man Ghana ma say ain't na me sure say obe add your subscription to the new TV and your likes, your comments, and then you make sure so by clicking on the notification button for more news updates. So sisi ano the health condition of Kwame Bafo, chairman for Bno Ahafo, aka or alias Abronye DC, for the health condition, baby, I want to any crack. See a besha handcuffs, egunesa, or corner or bano, jumping or through vehicle to say any asset to an namso. Ama sisi Omarashi Abronye to the nearby hospital say oncology treatment because tossing no more tossing no enya asem kitwa. Me pese me so baby subscribe to Ordinary TV, your likes, your comments, and please make sure say share videos of Ordinary TV to various people to be on your echo so mind Ghana say and then on more refi so we so click here on the notification button for more news updates. Change your new team
case to flaunt their new status as fully fledged lawyers. Yet the weight of this undertaking must not be lost on us. It is the very foundation that prepares us for our role in sustaining our democracy with utmost integrity and acting fairly. The Constitution of the Ghana Bar Association enjoins us to protect the independence of the judiciary. This is a duty the association does not take lightly, and from time immemorial, the bar has fiercely performed this duty. My learned friends, we are all aware that Article 146 of our 1992 Constitution has come under severe scrutiny in recent times. For the first time under the Fourth Republic, it's been evoked in respect of a Chief Justice. The position of the bar must be stated clearly in this regard. The bar recognizes the fact that the power of removal can be exercised under Article 146, but the bar's major concern relates to the process. In the absence of specific rules of procedure, the sketchy process potentially lends itself to arbitrariness and a lack of fairness. Hence, the bar's resolution on the matter, which was as follows. The Ghana Bar Association hereby also calls for the immediate enactment of clear and comprehensive regulations relating to matters under Article 146 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to ensure transparency, accountability, and fairness in all proceedings involving Superior Court justice, particularly in the context of the impeachment or removal of such officers. This resolution was passed and publicized by 30th April 2025. However, no rules were produced. It is commonly said that justice should not only be done, but manifestly be seen to have been done. The lack of an enactment for such rules in the case of the removal of the fourth highest person in the nation should be a matter of concern for all of us. These rules should have been known to all and sundry before the commencement of the process, as it greatly affects the standard to be met. It ends up being an unfortunate precedent, which lacks fairness, a situation that calls for redress, if indeed we are custodians of justice. We all deserve justice, from the well-endowed in society to the less endowed, from those who wield political power to those who don't, from those who have economic power and those who don't, from those who dispense justice to those who receive justice. We all deserve justice. The effects of another resolution passed at our mid-year conference on the assignment of cases electronically is also yet to be experienced as resolved. Now to talk about free speech and political insults. One cannot deny that the discourse in public life, especially across new media, leaves much to be desired. We don't need to insult each other to make our point. However, there is a growing concern that in the bid to curb this growing menace, the very foundations of our constitution are being undermined. This should never be used to cower the populace into silence. The phrase, "I may not agree with you, but will defend your right to say it," attributed to the French philosopher Voltaire, should be our creed. We cannot, as a nation, go back to the culture of silence. As was said by Admiral Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar, he said, "England expects every man, and I add women, to do his or her duty, and so does Ghana." It beggars belief that a judge in a constitutional dispensation more than 30 years after the return to constitutional rule will rely on the quote of Idi Amin Dada, the former military dictator of Uganda, and the philosophy underpinning George Orwell's book, Animal Kingdom, to arrive at a decision. Colleagues, I do not speak in a vacuum. I speak about the recent ruling given in a case in the Circuit Court, Accra, a ruling which would have been roundly condemned by a cross-section of Ghanaians, and it is so being done. Indeed, we have a lot of work to do, and we must constantly remain vigilant if we want to remain a constitutionally democratized country. Our country's democracy cannot be based on warped philosophy and the totalitarianism preached in the book Animal Kingdom, Animal Farm. Our 92 Constitution is based on equality before the law, and that should be our creed. The Latin is omnis ante legum oris sumus, which means we are all equal before the law. As I close to the end of this address, respectfully, two urgent national issues are worthy of mention. Illegal mining, referred to as galamsey, and some treatment received by lawyers providing services to clients. On illegal mining, my lady has addressed us on that. And I would add that we were informed by a recent media report that Ghana imports the highest number of excavators in West Africa and the second highest number in all of Africa. If indeed that is the case, one may ask, what thriving business in Ghana requires the importation of such huge numbers of excavators? If entrenched interests hide behind status and privilege, then we as lawyers have a moral duty to strip away the impunity that shields them. The rivers of Ghana cannot speak. The forests cannot do likewise. But we as custodians of justice must raise our voices on their behalf. Finally, on affirmative action. To end on this note is to remind one of the strides taken by our women in the professional space since the passing of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1121. Some of our male counterparts argue, half in jest, that the women are now dominating law faculties, Ghana School of Law, Attorney General's Department, and are on the brink of doing so on the bench. And perhaps it is about time that we show them what can be done to regain their position. The good news is that this situation is the new normal. Since September 11, 2024, a number of key institutions in Ghana have come under the leadership of women, such as the Ghana Prison Service. Ivory Coast took a cue and have elected their first female bar president. Currently, there are at least 3 female bar presidents in Africa, and I am in good company.
So there are more pressing things for the IGP to turn his attention to. The IGP went to Boko. His own vehicle was shot at. The gentleman who shot at his vehicle, he couldn't arrest them. He rather went to promise them police recruitment if they put out their arms. So for an IGP to use the law and his position to settle personal scores, I have a problem with it. But you see, we don't learn. Public servants and politicians don't learn.
Who doesn't have a personal score?
We don't realize that. You see, we don't.
He doesn't have a personal score with Abronye.
What is the issue with Abronye?
But it doesn't mean he has a personal score with him.
What is the issue with Abronye? If I defame you, if I call you names, what is the recourse in law?
MFI is the law student.
No, what is the recourse?
Well,
don't we have
definitely is not a criminal
exactly.
thing.
Don't we have,
but is that a personal score?
If you read the facts of the matter, it is by extension that they brought the IGP matter in there. It's not the first cause. It's not the first. The two charges on which the 2 counts didn't have.
What are the issues behind the 2 counts? I want to know.
The conduct, his conduct.
What is it?
Well, the police didn't state in the conduct.
So you see, so the mere fact that no, but what is the issue? Just tell us. I mean, educate.
I mean, he's your party member. You should have
the mere fact that even on this set we are struggling to put a finger on specifically what the issue is, beyond the fact that you don't like the guy, the way he speaks, and maybe his insults, which are pure moral issues and all of that. We are struggling. You are trying to push him into a certain space, because if